You're listening to 17 Carat K-Pop, the show that's a little bit of everything with a K-pop twist. Visit 17caratkpop.weebly.com for more information about the show. That's 17caratkpop.weebly.com. Enjoy the show! Hello everybody and welcome back to 17 Carat K-Pop. I know you just heard from me the other day, but I've had some time to really sit with and play on repeat my favorite solo artist of all time's brand new album, Taemin's Never Gonna Dance Again. So I just felt like I couldn't wait anymore, and it is time to really break down the meaning of Taemin's discography and just appreciate him as an artist, talk about my theories surrounding his music video symbols and how it connects to other SM Entertainment artists' music video worlds. You know, I think they're all connected. We've already talked about that at length, but we will elaborate as it relates directly to Taemin's part of all of this. So we're just going to talk about a lot of Taemin content today after getting to a few headlines. So without further ado, let's get into today's topics. News updates for you. So the Idol Star Athletic Championships, as I said on the show the other day, the future of those were up in the air due to the coronavirus, and the tentative plan was to go forward with a few events, the dog agility run and the esports, but now the esports has been cut and they've officially changed the name to the Idol Star Dog Championships, and 11 teams have already been preparing for about 2 months for this specific event, so it will be pretty exciting, and, you know, they're ready for this. It's not like they're just going to wing it now. So these dogs are ready to perform, and Red Velvet's Joy will be one of the hosts of the event, so that's exciting too, as well as just in general. I feel like they should just do this going forward. I personally don't mind if they replaced every year the full Idol Star Athletic Championship with one for just the dogs, because the artists have to work enough throughout the year. Let's give them a rest and let's look at more dogs. I'm just saying. Big Hit Entertainment is preparing to go public on the stock market, with each BTS member also having a stake in the company, and Mr. Bang, being the best boss ever, felt like the amount that each member was getting was too small, so he gave up more of his shares for them. So now each BTS member combined has 1.41% investment in Big Hit Entertainment, and Mr. Bang has 43.44%. So it'll be very exciting to see how the public reacts. I'm sure it will be quite a frenzy for investors to get their share, and we will find out how well that works on October 5th and 6th, so keep your eyes peeled, less than a month away. Other news, Taemin just joined TikTok officially, so make sure you follow him there. The Melon Music Awards future is kind of up in the air. There were some rumors that it was canceled this year, but then now it sounds like it's going forward, but in a different format, or maybe they meant it's going forward as in they'll still announce the winners but not have an actual show. I don't know, but just stay tuned. In the coming days, we'll probably get an update on that. The iHeartRadio Awards were canceled this year due to the virus, but the winners were announced on the radio over Labor Day weekend. So the other day we found out that BLACKPINK won for favorite choreography and BTS won for best music video and best fan army. Of course, if the BTS army cannot win the best fan army award, that they should change the title, because that just would not be right. In terms of who just entered the 20 million views club, CLC's Helicopter and Super M's Tiger Inside. Joining the 30 million views club is Monsta X's Follow music video, the 500 million views club BLACKPINK's How You Like That, the 1.3 billion views club, which isn't really a club, but because it's the first K-pop group to reach this, but BLACKPINK's Do 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 just got 1.3 billion views. BTS's Dynamite has 100 million streams on Spotify, and Boy With Love has 500. So 100 for Dynamite, 500 for Boy With Love, which is the first song by a Korean act to get that many streams, which is an extra big deal considering that BTS actually has a Japanese version out of Boy With Love too. So the fact that one version of Boy With Love already has enough streams to reach this milestone when people could also have been listening to the other version is a really big deal. Stray Kids now have 3 million V Live followers, and Card has 3 million YouTube subscribers. And the latest in 17 news for the day to know, they are set to make their very first appearance on a Japanese show called Music Station. So on September 11th at 9 p.m. Korean time, which is 7 a.m. Chicago time, the previous day, or that same day, you know what I mean. 7 a.m. Chicago is 9 p.m. Korean time, and that is when 17 will be performing on Music Station. And this is really big, especially coming on the heels of Falling Flower, immediately topping Japan's Line Music real-time charts after its release. So super exciting for them. Congrats to them. In the segment of Can We Just Take a Moment to Appreciate for today, can we just take a moment to appreciate the relationship between Namjoon and Jungkook and how they have those special conversations to each other on those car rides? Those are just I'm living for those. They're so nice. It's just great to see that relationship between those band members and the way that they bounce song ideas off of each other. In the latest car ride that they released a clip of for fans to see, they are discussing Jungkook's song "Still With You," and Namjoon's giving him ideas for how to use metaphors in the song, and it's just really cool to see the way in real time that the members' true chemistry comes out as they work on creating song ideas together. I just think that's really cool to see that collaboration take place, especially because I personally am so bad at group projects and collaborating well in those, and so for them to do it is always amazing to me. That's one of the many, many reasons I find 17 so amazing, because can you imagine doing what's essentially a group project with 12 other people? I mean, that's what 17 does, and wow, I'm blown away. So, your action of the day. Please pre-order, or at least spread the word about if you can't afford to, but there's a new book coming out called Long Time Coming, Reckoning with Race in America by Michael Eric Dyson. It will be out December 1st, but you can pre-order now, and I really encourage, especially my USA listeners, to do so, as well as continue to just pre-order or put on your wish list anti-racism reading material, because there's just so much history to learn and unlearn. So you don't have to just support Amazon or a big company. You can buy this book on IndieBound or Bookshop. It's available in a lot of little bookstores as well. So again, it's called Long Time Coming, Reckoning with Race in America. It's by Michael Eric Dyson. All right, before I get to my Taemin talk for the day, I have some quick yays and nays. So today's yay number 1, CL and CLC, and I really think they should collab because the name lends itself to that, but also because they're both killing it lately. So CL is coming, she's teasing something. There are teasers, and then there are teasers, and whatever CL's doing is a teaser. It's like 10 to 15 second clips of possibly lyrics, possibly song titles, possibly just messing with us, phrases, but she's getting ready to release something, and I'm so excited for her to finally come back. So please wait for CL. Really looking forward to that. As well as I was really looking forward to CLC's new comeback with the song Helicopter. I would really recommend checking out the music video for that. So CLC is doing so well lately, and especially in the video, I hope it gets the love it deserves. It has a lot of cool art references. So it has a lot of Da Vinci's work. So first of all, it has the ornithopter image, which are these like white wings, essentially like what Da Vinci designed for like a mechanical set of wings. He wanted to try to allow humans to fly, and so he created an image of mechanical wings humans could wear, and that is alluded to in the CLC video with Yujin wearing these angel wings of sorts that have that mechanical human, literally man-made look to them. And in that video also there's the aerial screw, which is a famous architectural design that Da Vinci created, which is on the set of the CLC video. It seems very intentional for the story's sake, obviously, with a song like Helicopter, to have that architecture there, but also it goes along with the Da Vinci theme. Da Vinci also created, aside from wanting humans to fly, he wanted to create like other things for humans to go up in the sky. He really liked the sky, and he's known for creating essentially what became known as the predecessor to the helicopter, and so that's kind of what the aerial screw was thought of to be. And then Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man was also in the video, just for a nanosecond at the beginning, but that work of art is on display. So the ornithopter, the aerial screw, and the Vitruvian Man are all Da Vinci references in the CLC comeback. I also think that the lyrics have a lot of metaphors attached to them as well. Lyrics like, I'm painting every day, and curiosity is what, inspires my painting, or curiosity is my starting point for this painting, or some lyrics like that. And so I'm very excited. I hope CLC leans more into these metaphors in the future. I think this story is going in a very interesting direction. So, yay number one is CL and CLC's latest works. Nay number one has to be other bands and their situations. So, Pristine tried to rebrand as Hinapia, but that group has just split up due to the coronavirus especially causing some financial harm to the agency, so the group disbanded after their one single. I'm really disappointed in that. I really loved that. I was really just excited and pleasantly surprised when Pristine broke up. A few members were going to go on as a new group, and so I just wish the best for them, but it is a bummer that they just had that one hit. And that's it. And, and I'm still upset that Pristine is over because they didn't last as long as I would have liked. More band drama. There is a rookie group called ANS, and they have, I don't know if they've technically disbanded, but there's some drama there, and I think they will if they haven't technically already. So one of the members, she basically was venting on social media about some inner turmoil she's been feeling being bullied by the other band members. And the other members say that they don't really get what the issue is. They don't have a particular issue with her. They even visited her in the hospital this past summer. And that really the only thing they can think of that they would have done that upset her was be a bit naggy as like her parental figures in this situation, because they encouraged her to do her schoolwork and go to school when she wasn't. She apparently developed a habit of using this band as an excuse for why she couldn't go to school on certain days, but it turned out that her band didn't have scheduled events those days and she was just skipping school. And so there's a lot that is unverified and unclear about this, but essentially what the timeline seems to show is that December of 2019 is when she joined ANS, and she still had to finish high school, so that naturally comes with stress. March and April of this year, all of the staff at ANS Entertainment, the actual company name, all the staff got laid off due to coronavirus-induced hardships. And then May 29th is when she was tested for COVID, and it came back negative. June 8th, the members heard from her school that she still wasn't coming back despite the negative COVID test. She had already been isolating for the recommended amount of time and all of that. June 12th is when she replied to texts from some of the members apologizing for not texting them sooner, but that was the last they had heard from her as of recording time. So that was back in June. Then June 14th, the agency officially closed its doors and realized, this virus isn't going away anytime soon, and the financial hardship cannot be withered any longer. So the ANS members were unable to access a practice room after this happened. So they not only had lost their staff and management, but they lost their practice room. So going forward, they had to basically be their own teachers, their own vocal instructors, and their own parents for the members still in school. So they were juggling a lot of roles here, and they had a fan meeting event in late June, but Hannah did not attend. Tensions were high as the members had to kind of restructure the choreography and stuff for the day because she wasn't there last minute. So basically, it sounds like tensions were high for a lot of ways, and they're not disagreeing over what happened, they're disagreeing over the source of the issue. And so, July 22nd, the ANS members sent formal contract termination requests to the agency, or requested, within a reasonable amount of time to get some practice space back. But then it turned messier because then the agency basically started calling their parents and claiming that they were playing the role of victims. Long story short, there was a lot of finger pointing here. They want a contract termination, but it sounds like that isn't going down without a fight from the agency. They are basically just, they have different interpretations of how much Hannah was bullied as opposed to them maybe lashing out at her or being cold towards her in moments of emotional just anguish due to all the stress of having a managerless company. So the latest statement from them sounds like the members' contracts are not null and void yet, but I don't know how much longer that would last if they don't even have staff anymore. It's not like they can rebuild easily. And so that's really where things stand, is that it sounds like the members were really left and forced to grow up quickly, and they were left on their own kind of to find ways to just be a band without supervision, and that's really hard, especially when you're still high school aged. So in other band drama too lately, the Rose requested a contract termination of their own against a different company, J and Star Company, but they were denied that contract termination request. So they are still signed to their label unwillingly as well. And so I just hope that I really love the Rose. I really hope they find happiness however that looks in their future. They did just release a single called Black Rose, an ode to the fandom, so that was really nice, and I hope that means they still get to release music they want to release, but it does have this nostalgic quality to it, like a sense that they know this is like a goodbye song in a way, which makes me really sad to think about. I hope that's not the case, but with upcoming military enlistments and stuff, I don't know about the Rose's future as a band. It's really disappointing what happened after basically the company they claim did not notify them in advance about a super, super busy schedule and all these scheduled appearances, and we're not paying them enough. And so there's a lot of drama there as well. So, but in better news, AOA's Choa has signed to a new agency, so there's that. Her FNC Entertainment contract expired last year, and so she just joined, actually, the company Kim Yun-sun started, and he started that company after being at FNC as well. So he started Great M Entertainment, and so she's getting a fresh start. So there's that. So my yay is really CL and CLC and what they get to do lately, as well as with Choa, and hopefully the other members of AOA can get a fresh start too after all that drama. My nay is for the bands that are still dealing with drama. Another yay I have is this animated band concept. So Maru Entertainment has announced they have this new band debuting. It's called Ghost 9. It's a boy band. And the characters are also called the Glees, Gleez, aka Ghosts Living in an Empty Earth. So it's an acronym for the Glees, which are these digital characters. And apparently in this storyline, they're going to meet their alter ego soulmates, as they're called in the description. So basically, each animated character is an alter ego of a member of this new boy band, Ghost 9. And so it sounds like it's going to be a mix of both an animated band and the actual people behind the voices and the alter egos. So it's really quite a blend of the 2D and the physical worlds that I find very interesting. I'm very curious where this story goes. And it will feature the members of the band Teen Teen, so 3 of those guys, and then 6 other members. So it'll be a 9-piece boy band. They're supposed to debut later this month, and so that's really exciting. So my nay is related though. My yay is for this new concept. It's very refreshing. My nay is for the people that don't like the concept and just in general this year, because it sounds like a lot of people are they hear an artist is releasing a new music video, but when they find out it's another animated video, they get all disappointed. And look, I get it. There's something about just like physically being there when you're at a music video shoot. It makes the music video have different results. But I mean, in the time of the coronavirus, if the safest way to make a music video is to make it with digital characters, to me, I'll take it. That's better than nothing. And I just appreciate all the effort that goes into making those animated videos. So let's calm down with the whining about that. We're getting content still. It's just in a new form. And if you want to hear more about why I'm defending this concept, you can check out my latest How to Stand episode it's called Miku and a Redefining of Reality or something like that. Miku, Holograms, and a Redefining of Reality. And that Miku-themed episode of How to Stand breaks down how culturally different cultures define real in different ways. And so what makes a real authentic performance in Japan is not the same as what is considered a real or authentic performance in the USA, for example. And so that may give some more perspective on why you should keep an open mind as to how, authentic or special and a 2D character can be and what meaning we can attach to those characters that may get you to more appreciate digital worlds that we are seeing more and more of these days. So, yay number 3 are the ways that the Western media is reporting on BTS's Dynamite. I talked about that a lot before, but I just want to take a moment again to appreciate that because I just love the positive media coverage that they are getting. Rolling Stone did a great job describing it by saying, quote, a bit Fred Astaire, a bit Backstreet Boys, yet unmistakably BTS. And I know that sounds like a little addition, and, it's still weird that there's still constant Western artist comparisons for these groups, but still, the fact they added the yet unmistakably BTS, that sounds new to me. That it sounds like a new level of appreciation for these artists, and I am here for it, and I hope that continues. So, really hoping to hear more about that in the future. My other nay, it has to go to BLACKPINK's album tracklist, because it's really short. And I've griped about this before on the show, so I won't nag for too long for YG Entertainment to let them release more music. But their discography is so small. They debuted in 2016, and 4 years later, they have such a small discography still. They have around 20 songs, I want to say, probably less than 20. And for context's sake, Twice released 90 songs by the time it had been 4 years since they debuted. So, way less than other groups by the 4 year mark, and so I hope that means either they deserve a contract extension, or just to release more music or more solo projects. They deserve more opportunities in some way to be compensated, because that's such a small catalog. So I just for their sake, want them to be able to release more. So I was just disappointed because the alleged album track list was leaked the other day. There are only 8 tracks on it, 2 that we've already heard. So it was originally going to be a 10-track track list, and now it's an 8-track track list with 2 we've already heard, How You Like That and Ice Cream. So we're only getting 6 new songs after all this time we've been waiting for the new releases, and I'm just disappointed by that. And I just, for their sake, wish they could sing a wider variety of music so they don't get so bored with singing the same old, because as much as you might love their bops, if you hear it all day long every day as you go on a world tour, you probably get sick of it, and so I feel bad for them. Although we do get a Cardi B collab with this album, so there's that to look forward to. That is really going to be interesting. The B in Cardi B is now officially BLACKPINK. So those are my quick yays and nays. My yays go to CLC and CL lately, as well as BTS positive media coverage lately for Dynamite and the animated band that has formed. My nays go to the companies and bands that are still dealing with friction and a lot of tense issues, as well as BLACKPINK's super short track list, and another nay to people who do not have an open mind to cartoon music videos in this era when that is the safest way to film a video. So those are my yays and nays and other news for the day. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk all about Taemin. Quick overview if you are unfamiliar with who Taemin is as an artist, and then I will explain why he stands out to me so much and is my personal favorite solo artist of all time. So, first of all, Taemin, he actually made a deal with his mom that he would focus on his school again and stop these dreams of becoming a famous singer and dancer if he failed this SM Entertainment open casting call thing. And the rest is history, because he did not fail that audition back in 2005, and so he went on to train for a few years with SM Entertainment before debuting in the boy band SHINee. So May of 2008 is when he debuted in that group. It's funny how things go over time, how actually when he debuted in SHINee, his vocals were considered pretty weak. which I would disagree, but that was how it was. So his vocals weren't even included on SHINee's debut single. So it's funny how things change over time. But he continued to always prove himself working on SM Entertainment projects here and there. He already had his first OST out in 2012 before his own solo music. He featured on Henry's song Trap in 2013, which really was ahead of its time. That really is such a great bop. Anyway, so then he debuted with his own solo EP for the first time in August of 2014 with Ace. And then he continued to just do more year after year. To 2016, he got first place on an episode of the show Hit the Stage, run by Mnet. 2016 also is when he released his first full-length album, which was very critically acclaimed. It was called Press It. It was about, like, pressing your phone number, which Press Your Number was the main single off of that one, and that album he really helped craft. He hand-selected and curated that track by track, and so I'm really glad that that album really did get critical acclaim so much and stood out in the K-pop world and the music world overall, because it had Taemin's fingerprints all over it, and I'm very happy. I'm just very happy for him that his work, truly his work in every way, was recognized. And, you know, the album then went on the next year to win a Golden Disc Award. It was all super exciting. He continued with releasing a few projects in 2017, and then later in that year he also released Move, which really became so iconic, honestly. If you think about the most iconic 50 to 100 K-pop songs of all time, it would definitely include Move. If there could only be one Taemin song on that list, it would be Move. That really, just something about it, it's Michael Jackson-esque, but also Taemin-esque, just in his own way. It's got just a very unique blend of influences. It really showcases his vocal range, and there's something about Move that really made it a hit. And even though it seems like it's not the high energy hit that you might stereotype as the, like, pop song of the year, trust me, this one just really had something special about it. It's such an earworm. And so Move and the accompanying album did reach number 3 on the Billboard World Albums chart because it really was just so well done. More on this later, but then in 2017, he also held his first solo Japanese concert to this Tokyo arena that seated 28,000 people. So really he went from SM Entertainment doubting his vocal abilities to selling out 28,000 tickets. And then even more, because after that Japanese show he performed in Korea to 12,000 more fans over the course of 3 shows. And the show was in such high demand in Korea that he had encore performances where he sold 20,000 more tickets. So, obviously, a huge, huge sensation. And so November of 2018 is when he released, personally, one of my favorite albums of all time, which is just the self-titled album. It's called Taemin, which we're going to talk about in a minute. 2019 is when he released Want, which we're also going to talk about in a minute. Famous, he released August of 2019. 2019 was so huge for him because February is when we got Want, the EP. And then July we got the Famous video and single, and then the full Famous EP in August. And then that fall we got his debut in the group Super M. So that was 2019 was so great for Taemin fans. We love. So anyway, why he stands out to me, there are a couple of things. So first of all, personally to me, his music is like therapy and always has been. I talked about this a little bit in the episode called Autism in K-Pop, I believe it's called, where I talked about, as an autistic K-pop fan, how certain songs really are like my therapy because my senses get overwhelmed very easily, and so music is such a comfort when I find a song that stops my senses from feeling so jarred, and I'm always on edge and jumpy, and just days can be really hard and anxiety filled for me due to the autism, but at the same time it gives me this power to really, I feel things so intensely negatively, but also that means I feel intensely so positively, and so I really do get a real jolt of excitement, a really incredible physical reaction to good music, and so certain artists just tap into that feeling I get, and it just feels good, and it's such a reprieve to finally, like, my nerves can calm down and I can just feel like all of my senses that are usually in 5 different directions at once and going haywire in my brain are suddenly quieted or align with each other. It's hard to explain, but music helps me focus so much is what I'm trying to say. And I just am so blessed when I discover artists who really tap into that feeling for me. And so Taemin's music has always really done that. His song Goodbye, also known as Sayonara or Solitary Goodbye, that song really especially has always been one of my most personal favorite songs of all time. And so his catalog just has a lot of songs like that that just feel good, like the song Move. You know, there's just something about the beat of the song, and I don't know, something about it just really I appreciate. So, anyway, then another reason why I have always respected and admired his work so much is because of the range. He really goes everywhere with his personas musically, you know, because in Shiny he's got this more clean cut, polished image, but then he has this edgier look and a more just overall experimental wardrobe for his solo works, and then he's got his whole other thing for his whole other character for the Super M world. So he really puts on a performance as an actor in these worlds, so he's not just a singer, he's kind of an actor in them too, and he really plays the part in terms of styling. He's always been known for this very androgynous outfit choice, very heavy eye makeup, which looks so good on him, very layered, you know, accessories, and just something about his outfits are just so stage ready and really amp up the presence of the character he's playing in these videos. And so I've always really admired his approach to fashion. It really makes him truly a star. And also in general, just how his music sounds. It's a great blend of electronic elements with classic pop sounds with, like I said before, it's got more like of a slower R&B vibe at times that is unexpected. It's always both unexpected and reliable. Like, you know when he's going to release something that it will sound a certain way. He's crafted a very unique sound that is just so Taemin of him that the comparisons to like Michael Jackson's sound can only go so far, because he's got some of those inspirations there in the music, but also it's just so uniquely Taemin, and I just love that so much. Sorry if you hear rain and thunder in the background of this recording. I'm trying to get away from that, but anyway, I Can't Stand the Rain, yes, is currently playing in my head as I think about that. So, I apologize for the background noise if you hear that in this recording. I'm not sure if that will go over. Anyway, so yeah, those are the main reasons why Taemin's catalog means a lot to me, because personally it just is my therapy, my go-to, never get tired of it. First of all, second of all, and just generally as a music critic, objectively, I would also rank his albums and songs as being so good and impressive and well done. He really put so much time and effort into his personas and his craft and his discography, and it's just all tells this continuous story that is reliable but also continues to be fresh. He continues to reinvent himself. Other main reason is because of all the ways he tells a story, which is always multiple ways at once, through the choreography, through the settings, through the outfits, and it all involves all these Easter eggs to my greater themes that we're going to talk about later. So, just that kind of sums up why he's always been my personal favorite, and I could go on and on, but I think I will just get on with it and talk about the symbols in these videos. So, if we start with the Press Your Number video, that is going to be key for the story's sake. So, Danger is his first main music video in the timeline, but there isn't much symbolic. In terms of symbols, there isn't much to say about that one. It's just really cool. It was a way that right out of the gate, Taemin solidified his artist status and his stage persona. It's just a very cool video. I don't know how else to describe it. Danger is just everything. It is that song we love. So anyway, Press Your Number is the one where the real storyline and symbols kick in. And fun fact, Press Your Number was co-produced by Bruno Mars, which is a bit surprising. It doesn't sound like a traditional Bruno Mars song. Not that that would be a bad thing, but anyway, also, it was initially going to be a Shiny song for the band, but Taemin took it on as a solo work for himself, changed up the sound to be more Taemin-like. It was originally slower and more R&B, And so it's very interesting how the song went through different stages and turned into what it is today. The final version turned out so different, but I guess for the better because it's such a great song. I love it. And so the video is basically like a mini movie plot. So keep that in mind. We're going to revisit that term movie and how this is a movie. It starts where Taemin has this blue rose that he drops on the ground. There's also a flash of an image of a car that's been in a crash, and colorful smoke is coming out of the car. And throughout the video, he basically goes through scenes switching places with a girl. So it looks like there is a girl that he's robbing at gunpoint, but later in the video, it turns out he's robbing himself. Like, he took the place of the cashier and the robber. There are other moments like that too, where it looked like the girl was trapped somewhere, but then he's the one that's actually trapped, or he's the one duct taped, or he's the one tied up. He keeps playing the role of both the villain and the victim throughout the video very quickly, so you could easily miss it. I remember the first time I saw the video, I didn't even notice the moment where he became the cashier. So, yeah, it really goes fast, and there's so much in there, you've got to freeze and screenshot a lot when you watch Taemin videos. So, that's basically what happened, and then he basically left his partners in crime in this video. He just kind of left them to face the consequences when the cops were on their tail, and so he walked away, but then he got his karma because his character in the video then gets handed off the suitcase of money, but when he opens the suitcase, he goes back to his car to open it, and it's full of blue roses, like the one from the beginning of the video, instead of being full of dollar bills, and so joke's on him. So the video ends where he gets on top of his car and dumps a bunch of gasoline on it, and then he holds up this lighter, and I'm assuming he drops it and sets the car on fire, but you don't actually see that. You just see him holding the lit lighter and staring down at his car, and then the screen goes to black, and then you see the movie-style credits at the end. So clearly this was, a movie scene of sorts. So what I took away from this video will make sense once I discuss more videos, but I will just say for now, keep in mind the fact that the whole concept they already started laying out for Taemin's stage character and everything from the beginning was this concept of a movie and role-playing and like a breaking the fourth wall of sorts, that he knows this is all a movie or this is all a scene being played. There are a lot of moments in other music videos as well where there's that, well, and of course in the latest album too, where they lean into that, like this is act 1, act 2, this is just a play or a production they're putting on, and it's not really what's happening. And so you actually, in some of these videos, hear or see like a tape recorder or something like it being put into a verse, or a movie projector type moment, a security camera moment that could double as a movie projector symbol. And so this seems to be one of those moments when he does switch places with this girl. It's almost like the security camera footage of him robbing the store with the girl as the victim is suddenly like rewinded, and they decide to refilm the scene with Taemin in both roles. That's how I interpreted it. Anyway, so then we transition a bit into Solitary Goodbye. So for that video, it's really incredible. I would just recommend watching it, so I won't say too much because visually it is so stunning. It's Taemin surrounded by fire in one scene and like water in the other. He's controlling all of the elements. It's very supernatural, which that superpower-esque nature of these characters is definitely a side of them that SM Entertainment likes to tap into a lot. And so that's definitely on display here. And towards the end of that video, Taemin is seen in this coffin, this giant coffin, opened up, and he's seated on this bed of blue flowers in there. The blue flowers are back. Keep that in mind. Then we have the Flame of Love video, but I'm just going to skip past that and talk about Move. So now on the timeline, if we talk about the song Move, which, fun fact, was written by Curtis Richa, who worked for Kumikoto, one of my favorite J-pop stars, J-Lo, Rihanna. I mean, he's really done a lot of artists' hit songs, and it was actually originally called Don't Fight the Music, which sounds like a great Taemin album title for the future, so maybe they should use that again, Don't Fight the Music, but I do think the song, Move, calling it Move was okay too, but that was a good name for it too. Anyway, so in the Move video, Taemin has these moments where there is this whole other scene with like the camera footage and the filming, like they're filming this dance scene on the street and everything, and there's a lot to you can dissect there, but I will just say for now that there is a flash like throughout the video. There are flashes of a scene where Taemin is in a room bathed in red light. And in this scene, he's got this mask on his face. It's like a hockey mask, but it's covered in these rhinestones, so it's this sparkly mask. So of course we've got that persona symbol of like putting on a different face, your alter ego of sort that sort of symbolism, or it could mean, hiding your true self, masking it away. There are a lot of ways to interpret that, but it's definitely important to note that he's wearing that mask. And I don't know if this was intentional or not. I feel like it is because with SM Entertainment, it always seems to be that it was so clever if true, because then years later, that what looks like the same mask is what Taeyeon wore during his GTA performance during the Super M live shows. So during Super M's world tour, Taeyeon wore the mask that Taemin wore in a past music video. I'm pretty sure it's the same mask, and my mind was blown when I realized that. Anyway, so then moving on in the timeline, we had the video for Thirsty, we had the video for Day and Night, and then we had the video for Under My Skin. Under My Skin is a key one for the story, where Taemin's walking around in a few settings. One setting, he's in this field, and lying in the grass are these square mirrors surrounding him, and towards the end of the video, those mirrors end up being shattered, so there's clear symbolism there. There's part where he's looking at a mirror that is not on the ground, but is actually upright and sees himself, but doesn't look like he recognizes himself. Clear symbolism there. There's this part at the end of the video where he puts a hand over his face in a way that's really covering one eye more than the other. And I know this is a stretch, but I'm known for my theories going really extra, so I'm going to continue to be that extra with my theories and say that he's covering one of his eyes in a way that reminds me of in the Criminal music video that just released the other day, that he's wearing this eye patch on the same eye that he covered up before. I don't know, I feel like there's something there, some nod to that video being alluded to there. So then we transition to the Want video, which has a lot of snake imagery, which is a symbol of, temptation and the sins and, a life of temptation, really, and those evil, the proverbial angel or devil on your shoulder situation. Then there is the video for Famous, and then Two Kids. Two Kids was interesting when it came out because it was, again, what Taemin does so well, which is a blend of what you expect from him and also what you didn't expect. Because in the Two Kids video, it's not as choreographed as his work usually is. It's very freestyle, and Taemin's just wandering around the city of Paris alone, and it still has him acting in this drama of sorts in the video, but at the same time, it wasn't like past videos in terms of the dancing and stuff. And so that's a great example of how he mixes things up. But I am glad he went back to some tight, impressive choreography for the Criminal, which also, I just love irony. So I love that he called this new album Never Gonna Dance Again, and then had some great choreo because LOL JK. So for the Criminal video, there is that persona mask again. The theater mask, we were talking about before, but not with the rhinestones. This is a different one, but it's still the same style of mask. That's like a theater, an old theater style look. And so keep that in mind. That symbol is back in the Criminal video. And the video starts with a mini TV and TV stand being zoomed out. So these symbols come really fast, by the way. Like the first few seconds of the Criminal video, you've got to really slow down and pause and play because it's all there really fast. And so so in the first few seconds, you see that mask on the floor of the building, and then you see the TV in a room that's otherwise empty. And, like, the camera zooms out really fast to reveal that TV. So, again, this is just a movie concept we're going to keep talking about is there. Also, keep in mind that throughout his videos, he's been holding up a blue rose. But this is the first video where he holds up a yellow rose. Keep that in mind. So, and that actually isn't in the first few seconds. That's towards the end of the video, just so you know. there are a lot of parallels in the Criminal video I saw to EXO music videos, which, this taps into what I'm saying about all these Easter eggs that show how the SM entertainment artist videos are all connected. And so before I talk more about my broader theme, just in terms of individual symbols that are repeated, I think intentionally, from SM artists' videos. So think about like in the XO video, there were the playing cards. Those are back in the Criminal video of Taemin's. They both have the scenes with all the piles of money, often set on fire, or some other lavish spending, but that clearly isn't, money isn't buying happiness for the character in their videos. They have the car scenes, a heist type scene. Remember in the Love Shot video for EXO, they had that kind of robbery in place, the same one that Taemin went through in the Press Your Number video. We have the scenes with the floor-to-ceiling stereos on the sides. That just reminded me of the scene where NCT had the Back on Black video, just setting-wise. And I know a lot of SM artist videos are filmed in the same settings or similar ones, but it still feels pretty intentional, not just a budgetary thing. And SHINee's videos and EXO's Love Me Right video have both had that colorful smoke that we saw in one of Taemin's early works. Yeah, so the playing cards, the statues, the money and the flames, and the car, the heist scene, like all of this continues to be an SM artist's work. And then a huge parallel I saw, of course, in the Criminal video from Taemin was that in one scene he's being pulled away by these guards, or the SWAT team of sorts, and they look like the same people who were basically pushing against the EXO members in the Monster video. Remember, like, the people that were leading Chen out of the room, and Chen had that dramatic look back at the others there, and then there's the scene where they literally like confront them and get into a standoff with the SWAT team. And so I think those same guards are like, that was an intentional parallel. If any of these were intentional, that one definitely was. There's also the scene with the dining table that ends up being, crashing on the floor and getting messy. That was from an EXO video as well, and now it's in the Criminal video. I could go on and on, but I think you get the point. So keep in mind a few main scenes that you see in the Criminal video. One is Taemin in this cluttered vintage store. That's where the mask is on the ground, and he's kind of meandering around that little room, just casually holding a chainsaw, no big deal. Doesn't really use it. I just thought that was a funny addition to the character. He's clearly in his evil alter ego's mindset at the moment, hence the name of the song, Criminal. The other scene, he's in that white room with the stereos. Then there's the scene where he's dancing surrounded by flames and literally sparks are flying, and he's surrounded by people in these bright red outfits. And then there's the scene where he's being pulled away by those guards, like in EXO's Monster music video. So, let's zoom out for a second and think about Super M's trailer videos. So each member of Super M before debut had like a teaser trailer for the storyline's sake. So it wasn't even really a teaser for the music itself, but the characters. And Taemin was really painted as the mastermind behind whatever plot is happening here in those videos. He was the one pressing pause or play on the movie, movie players, I don't know how you describe them, but projectors, the cameras rolling. Anyway, he's the one that gets the production started or paused as he wants. He's the one that is controlling this whole space-time continuum of this universe. And so he really is in charge here. So what you see in his Super M teaser are some key things to keep in mind. One being that there's this part in Taemin's teaser where he is basically above him is this image of a car that is like flipped over. Like, he looks like he's using like the powers of his mind to flip this image of a car. So like he's thinking about the fact that he flipped the car, because above him is not a literal car, but it looks like he's like a thought bubble practically, where he's thinking about and you see that image above his head of a car, if that makes sense. Like the ghost of the car is featured. And then the screen flashes to Kai, who is surrounded by wreckage and small fires that have been set, and flipped over cars. So the car crash scene was manifested by Taemin and then turned into like a physical scene in the Super M world. Also, Taemin walks up this flight of stairs, and as he walks up there, you see that on different stairs are lying around, possibly dead, I'm not sure, are clones of Taemin. And remember, we've talked about clones a lot before. They're in NCT's Superhuman video, they're in Taeyeon's Super M teaser, they're in some Red Velvet videos. Clones are big in SM Entertainment videos. So the clones are here, the car crash scene is back, and one more thing in the teaser, 10, there's this really split-second moment where there's a screen that shows 10, and his character is holding up a yellow flower, a dying yellow flower. So think about that. So Taemin's character in his universe carried around a blue flower for so many scenes in this movie, if you want to describe it that way, and then it suddenly, for the first time in this criminal video, he's now as a yellow flower, and meanwhile 10's Super M character had a dying yellow flower. So I really think there's a connection that will be explored more in future videos between 10 and Taemin's characters, so keep your eyes out for that. So basically what I'm getting out of this whole storyline with Taemin is that, in my theory, here's the part where I go extra about it. I think that Taemin is, so as I've talked about before on past episodes about SM Entertainment overall in my theories, this is all a movie in a way, or a movie in a movie sort of thing. It is an Inception style TV show within a show within a show, or, you know, a movie within a dream within a movie, or a dream within a dream within a dream. There are levels of reality and surrealism throughout this universe. It's a layered stack of universes, really, and levels of consciousness, levels of, it's really hard to decipher what is real versus what is a dream or a figment of a character's imagination. So that's really the gist of what I see going on with the SM Entertainment universe. And so what Taemin adds to this story is he seems to be the mastermind character. Like, he has the role of, basically, he's controlling some level of this. He's controlling possibly all the levels, but he is the director of this movie within a movie, or something like that. He's controlling one layer, at least, of this movie within a dream within a movie, or however you want to describe it. He's controlling the action as it unfolds, and he's basically, as he controls it, his character is realizing that, again, this is all just my theory, but his character is realizing that he can't detach himself from what he's letting happen. So he keeps basically ordering the actors in these scenes to go out and do things like commit a robbery or other stuff. And he lets them carry out these sins that he's the one sinning about but not actually doing. He's talking the talk and making them walk the walk for him. But there are these moments where he's like with himself, literally facing himself, or he switches roles and he's the victim in the plot line suddenly. So basically he's learning he can't escape his involvement. He can't just orchestrate how other people do it and get off scot-free. He is responsible, and he's going to be held accountable for being the villain in these situations, and he's not innocent just because he didn't physically do the acts of sin or whatever. So basically I think that's what his character's coming to terms with, is how much he needs to take responsibility for how he influences other characters and what he's directing them to do. And his character really has to stop and think about how much he wants to keep on influencing them in a certain way, and if he wants to change that, because he keeps getting, screwed over with the suitcase scene where they took out the money and replaced it with roses and all of that. So he's realizing that the way to really win and achieve real success is going to require his character to give up some power or share more power or just change how he uses his power and use it for more good. Now, I do think there are two simultaneous storylines here. I think there is that one, and there's this whole aspect of the SM Entertainment world that is Taemin and the other characters who are, they have these supernatural abilities, and it's all about, warping space and time as the movie requires. but I do think there's also the parallel storyline that's just real. That is just Taemin. Truly, he writes about his own experiences with relationships and whatnot, and just the life experiences of SM entertainment artists are shared. So there is just some raw, authentic content too. It's not just the fantastical storyline. I do think both are happening and blended together in interesting mixes, but I do think Criminal is an example of. See, this is what's great about Taemin is he embodies those parallels so well back to back. So with this last release, Two Kids was the first single, and that was definitely Taemin's more personal story, and clearly the story in the video is just of like a human, but then he's got this supernatural persona who came out for the Criminal video. So I definitely think it's both. It's not an either or situation here. So that kind of sums up what I think about Taemin's universe and why I'm so intrigued by it, what makes it stand out to me. And also, I would just say, I don't know if there's a connection here, but, I love to reach for that stuff, so, but Taemin song Tiger, I don't know if that was supposed to be like Tiger Inside, the Super M song, but they're not really that similar as songs, but that song is just underrated, so go revisit Tiger by Taemin, please. And, of course, my all-time favorite, which is Goodbye, as well as just all of his other songs. I think the best way to summarize how unique his range is just vocally, he goes from like really breathy vocals to really powerful vocals. He goes from really like loose choreography to really tight choreography that is in sync with others. Like his range I think is best explored through the album that's just called Taemin. Personally, that's one of my all-time favorite albums, but also Move, the video for Move for sure, is one I would check out, and of course Press Your Number if you're into this storyline and want to keep up, and of course make sure you check out the new video for Criminal. Those are the big ones I would recommend. Goodbye and the whole Taemin album, Criminal, and Press Your Number. So that wraps up my Taemin discussion for the day, but we will of course revisit this as storyline additions come about. So thank you for listening, and I will see you when I see you. Have a good day, everybody.